Now, I have to admit that there are many times I need to go to the dictionary, and this was one of them. But I needed to go to the slang dictionary, the slang usage of words. Knockoff. Noun, an item intended to look like something it is not, such as an expensive watch or designer clothes. Okay, so we're going to go to Reverend David Wilkerson and a message that he gave so that you can use this as a sermon illustration if you like. The title of the message is "That which is spiritual cannot be duplicated."
For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Before I go any further, I'd like to know if anybody here would like to buy a Rolex watch for $15. Come on now. Rolex. $15. It says Rolex right on it. In fact, the salesman's right down the corner here. Every New Yorker knows who they are. They say, "Get your Rolex." And thousands of tourists from all over the world are getting their $15 Rolexes, especially teenagers, and they're going back to class. And they're holding their wrist out like this, and some Rolex. They said, "Let me see it." You don't dare take it off because it's only 1/10 the weight of a real Rolex, and you can tell very quickly when you examine it closely. It's what they call a knockoff, a cheap duplication, a cheap imitation of the real. By the way, if you're here and you're visiting, I'm telling you the truth. Go 2-3 blocks down here on 7th and walk around, and you'll see them in their little cases there. $15. It's a good bargain. It lasts about a year or so. Made out of tin, but it looks pretty good. Would you like to, while you're in New York City, get a knockoff dress? You go to Saks Fifth Avenue, pay $1,000 for it. Go to Orchard Street, and it's $95. It's not the same cloth, but it looks just like the real Saks Fifth Avenue. I heard somebody here say, "I dressed my wife in sackcloth, Saks Fifth Avenue." Here in New York, we got knockoff purses. Those ones with little crazy designs, and you pay a fortune for those little wee marks. You go down Orchard Street and you get them there for $25. They have knockoff of everything here. These very wealthy people that are going to all of these parties and everything, those great big sparkling diamonds, they're not diamonds, they're zircons. Their diamonds are locked up somewhere. They won't dare wear them in New York City. Not even getting out of their big stretch limos over here. Somebody might grab them. Because we've got knockoffs on everything. We've got imitations. We've got duplications for everything today. Now, the same thing is in spiritual or religious circles. In almost every generation, there are ministers, there are movements that rise that are trying to duplicate the New Testament church. And they are sincere people. They say, if we could just duplicate the mannerisms and the program of the first church, the apostolic church of the time of the disciples, we will bring forth we'll give birth to a new Pentecost. And so they institute all of the New Testament programs of the early church. They go into the scripture and they by studying.
Okay, I think you got the idea on the sermon illustration. And just to add to it a little bit, how some of these knockoffs are produced. There may be a factory that produces the genuine watches that he's talking about, and for 8 hours through the night they may allow some phony watchmakers to come in, and they will remove some of the significant parts of that watch and then produce a watch that looks very similar to the genuine watch but is not genuine, because internally some of the parts are different, less expensive. Also, you have clothing places, especially in Southeast Asia, whereby they will imitate certain styles of clothing and make them look almost identical, and then they will forge the label and stick it on. I encountered some of these when I was over in Thailand. I was in Thailand for 4 months, and if you're interested, you can go to my playlist, and I have an entire section entitled Thailand. So you can use this in any way you like. Satan is the biggest manufacturer of knockoffs. Thank you for watching. End of video.